A 5-minute call. Jan Logie.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm a little bit at a loss of whether it's even worth standing up to speak when all I can hear from that side of the House is a barrage of laughter, of heckling, and of a round of applause for a speech that I think took less than a minute, defending a policy that I think is actually indefensible. And the last speaker who stood up and tried to tell this House that families that they are being beneficent by taking $500 million from some, including very low-income people in this country who otherwise would have no savings whatsoever, and to give it to people who are trying to survive and feed their kids. While they gave tax cuts to the wealthiest people not that long ago and put increasing taxes by increasing GST onto every New Zealander. This is not take from here, this is the only place we can take it from to be able to give to this group. There are other places. You could be more creative, government. That's right. And you haven't been. You've gone for a very easy option. And I'd say, I've said it before, Mr. Speaker, when the economy is not working for everyone, it is not working. And we know this economy is not working when 250,000 children in this country are in poverty, and that the government's measures that they are so proud of, which they are saying is $25 a week, which in fact will not be $25 a week in the hand for beneficiary families, because they'll be losing it through accommodation cuts, money being taken off around health costs and other abatements. And so they're giving on one hand, saying they're being so generous while they're taking on another. And I want to talk a little bit in this speech about inequality, which is a real problem in this country, and people in New Zealand are increasingly concerned about. And there are two types of inequality. It's a basic thing. There's inequality in relation to income, and then there is inequality in relation to wealth. Income is pretty easy to understand. Wealth is something we don't talk about as much. But in New Zealand, the last survey that we
Order. If members want to maintain a discussion, can they go to the lobbies?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I don't think they care. I don't think they care what other people think. I think they're just so pleased and proud of themselves of taking this money away from people that they don't need to listen. But so 2003 and 4, the top 10% of New Zealanders owned 51.8% of the net wealth of all households in New Zealand. They averaged all of those people in that category averaged about $835,000 worth of wealth each. The top 1% had 16.4% of the wealth in this country and averaged about $2.6 million each in their wealth, while the bottom 20% of New Zealanders had zero or little wealth, and some were in debt. So this policy, which provided $1,000 in savings for people, may have been the only wealth they had, the only chance they had to have some savings. And that is being taken away by this government. And it will have a compounding effect on inequality in this country. And I would like to say, when you're saying, well, we've got no choices if we're going to give $25 a week to people who have children who are dying through incomes-related poverty, I would remind this House and members on that side that the richest person in New Zealand's wealth is worth $7 billion. While 20% of this country have zero or little wealth, and many of them are in debt. This is at the heart of what this bill is about, is KiwiSavers, and the government contribution enables some people to actually get some savings. And when this is taking that away, because we know actually KiwiSaver can contribute to increasing inequality, because people who are earning the most will get the most from their employer contribution. So therefore, they are able to go ahead, and their wealth will breed more wealth. and it grows. Whereas the people on the lowest incomes who aren't able to afford those weekly contributions to KiwiSaver, their wealth or lack of wealth will stay there. This does not help inequality in this country.